गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारि यमुनातीरवनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। So I've been asked to speak on a section 29 to 38 words. So what do? You recite the 29th or recite the 38th? You recite what? This individual speaker choice. So we will read one verse. Okay. Because we are focusing on the verse, they will read 38. But we read the translations or we recite the verses also? Few people ask for translations, few people like they will just brief about it. Okay. 7th chapter, 7th canto, 7th chapter. What Prahlad learned in the womb. Okay, 7:7:29. Is it there on the board? 7:7:29. तत्रोपाय सहस्राणाम् अयं भगवतोदितः यदीश्वरे भगवती यथायैरञ्जसारतिः तत्रोपाय सहस्राणाम् अयं भगवतोदितः यद ईश्वरे भगवती यथायैरञ्जसारतिः तत्रोपाय सहस्राणाम् अयं भगवतोदितः यदीश्वरे भगवती यथायैरञ्जसारतिः। To recite.
तत्रोपाय सहस्राणाम्
अयं भगवतोदितः
Ayam Bhagavato Ditah. Yadishware Bhagavati. Yadishware Bhagavati. Yataye Ranjasarati. Go on.
Tatropaya sahasranam.
Tatropaya sahasranam.
Ayam bhagavato ditah.
Ayam Bhagavato Ditah.
Yadishware bhagavati.
Yadishware Bhagavati.
Yataye ranjasarati.
Yataye Ranjasarati.
Tatropaya sahasranam.
Tatropaya sahasranam.
Ayam bhagavato ditah.
Ayam Bhagavato Ditah.
Yadishware Bhagavati.
Yadishware Bhagavati.
Yataye ranjasarati.
Yataye Ranjasarati.
Tatropaya sahasranam.
Tatropaya sahasranam.
Ayam bhagavato ditah.
Ayam Bhagavato Ditah.
Yadishware bhagavati.
Yadishware Bhagavati.
Yataye ranjasarati ajna.
Yataye Ranjasarati.
Tatra, in that connection,
In that connection,
getting out of processes, sahasrana, of many thousands, ayam, this, bhagavata uditaha, given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
yat, which, Ishware, to the Lord, Bhagavati, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yatha, as much as, Jai, by which, Anjasa, quickly, Ratihi, attachment with love and affection. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Of the different processes recommended for disentanglement from material life, the one personally explained and explained by the one personally explained and accepted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be considered all perfect. That process is the performance of duties by which love for the Supreme Lord develops. Purport. Among the linking processes that elevate one from bondage to material contamination, the one recommended by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be accepted as the best. That process is clearly explained in Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says, Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. The process is the best because the Lord assures, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. There is no need to be worried, for the Lord Himself assures that He will care for His devotee and save him from the reactions of sinful activities. Material bondage is a result of sinful activity. Therefore, since the Lord assures that He will dissipate the results of fruitive material activities, there is no need to be worried. This process of understanding one's position as a spirit soul and then engaging oneself in devotional service is therefore the best. The entire Vedic program is based on this principle, and one can understand it as recommended in the Vedas. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite katita hi arthaha prakashante mahatmanaha. Unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master, all the imports of Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed. Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.23. One must accept the pure devotee, the representative of God, as one's guru, and then offer him all the respects one would offer the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the secret of success. For one who adopts this method, the perfect process is revealed. In this verse, the words Yair Anjasa Ratihi indicate that by offering service and surrendering to the spiritual master, one is elevated to devotional service. And by performing devotional service, one gradually becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because of this attachment to the Lord, one can understand the Lord. In other words, one can understand what the Lord's position is, what our position is, and what our relationship is. All this can be understood very easily by the simple method of Bhakti Yoga. As soon as one is situated on the platform of Bhakti Yoga, the root cause of one's suffering and material bondage is destroyed. This is clearly explained in the next verse, which gives the secret of success. So we will go till 38th verse. Can you read the translation of 32nd, 30 and 31st, sorry? The next one. Can you just please? Thirty, not together.
One must accept the bona fide spiritual master and render service unto him with great devotion and faith. Whatever one has in one's possession should be offered to the spiritual master, and in the association of saintly persons and devotees, one should worship the Lord, hear the glories of the Lord with faith, glorify the transcendental qualities and activities of the Lord, always meditate on the Lord's feet, and worship the deity of the Lord strictly according to the injunctions of the Shastra and Guru.
One should always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his localized representation as the Paramatma, who is situated in the core of every living entity's heart. Thus, one should offer respect to every living entity according to that living entity's position or manifestation.
By these activities, as mentioned above, one is able to cut down the influence of the enemies, namely lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and jealousy. And when thus situated, one can render service to the Lord. In this way, one surely attains the platform of loving service to the the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
One who is situated in devotional service is certainly the controller of the senses, and thus he is a liberated person. When such a liberated person, the pure devotee, hears of the transcendental qualities and activities of the Lord's incarnations for the performance of various pastimes, his hair stands on end on his body, tears fall from his eyes, and in his spiritual realization, his voice falters. Sometimes he very openly dances, sometimes he sings loudly, and sometimes he cries. Thus he expresses his transcendental jubilation.
When a devotee becomes a person haunted by a ghost, he laughs and very loudly chants about the qualities of the Lord. Sometimes he sits to perform meditation and he offers respects to every living entity, considering him a devotee of the Lord. Constantly breathing very heavily, he becomes careless of social ethic and loudly chants like a madman. Hare Krishna, oh my Lord, O Master of the Universe.
The devotee is then freed from all material contamination because he constantly thinks of the Lord's pastimes and because his mind and body have been converted to spiritual qualities. Because of his intense devotional service, his ignorance, material consciousness, and all kinds of material desires are completely burnt to ashes. This is the stage at which one can achieve the shelter of the Lord, so to speak.
Page 37. The real problem of life is the repetition of birth and death, which is like a wheel rolling repeatedly up and down. This wheel, however, completely stops when one is in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, by the transcendental bliss realized from constant engagement in devotional service, one is completely liberated from material existence. All learned men know this. Therefore, my dear friends, O sons of the Asuras, immediately begin meditating upon and worshipping the Super Soul within one's heart.
O my friends, sons of the Asuras, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and a Super Soul feature always exists within the cores of the hearts of all living entities. Indeed, he is the well-wisher and friend of all living entities, and there is no difficulty in worshipping the Lord. Why then should people not engage in his devotional service? Why are they so addicted to unnecessarily producing artificial paraphernalia for sense gratification?
Okay, I'll read this purport because we're going to stop here. Purport. It's a long purport. Okay. Because the personality of Godhead is supreme, no one is equal to him, and no one is greater than him. Nonetheless, if one is a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord is easily obtainable. The Lord is compared to the sky, because the sky is vast, yet within the reach of all, not only of human beings, but even of the animals. The Supreme Lord, in his Paramatma feature, exists as the best well-wisher and friend. As confirmed in the Vedas, Sayujau Sakhayo, the Lord, in his supersoul feature, always stays in the heart along with the living entity. The Lord is so friendly to the living entity that he remains within the heart so that one can always contact him without difficulty. One can do this simply by devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. As soon as one hears of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna Kirtan, one immediately comes in touch with the Lord. A devotee immediately comes in touch with the Lord by any or all of the items of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. Therefore, there is no difficulty in coming in contact with the Supreme Lord. Ko ati prayasaha. On the other hand, going to hell requires great endeavor. If one wants to go to hell by illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication, he must acquire so many things. For illicit sex, he must arrange for money for brothels. For meat eating, he must arrange for many slaughterhouses. For gambling, he must arrange for casinos and hotels. And for intoxication, he must open many breweries. Clearly, therefore, if one wants to go to hell, he must endeavor very much. But he wants to return home back to Godhead, there is no difficult endeavor. To go back to Godhead, one may live alone anywhere, in any condition, and simply sit down, meditate upon the super soul, and chant and hear about the Lord. Thus, there is no difficulty in approaching the Lord. Adanta gobir vishatam tamishram. Because of inability to control the senses, one must go through great endeavor to go to hell. But if one is sensible, he can very easily obtain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because the Lord is always with him. By the simple method of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, the Lord is satisfied. Indeed, the Lord says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tad aham bhakti upaharitam ashnami prayatatmanah. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. One can meditate upon the Lord anywhere and everywhere. Thus, Prahlad Maharaj advised his friends, the sons of the demons, to take this path back home, back to Godhead, without difficulty. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajataham Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahamadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim. Yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Deenatarinam. Hare Krishna. So I would like to welcome all of you for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 7, chapter entitled What Prahlad Learned in the Womb. And we're taking a section from text 29 to 38 for discussion today. What's happening in this section is Prahlad Maharaj, all the friends are sitting around and Prahlad Maharaj is being questioned that you're in the same school, you have the same teachers. How come you are practicing bhakti and we are not? Our teachers taught us something and you seem to be doing something different. And what you are doing is something so unique, right? Like as devotees, when we walk around in the city, with tilak or dhoti kurta or a sari or, in a devotional attire, sometimes people may even call us crazy, right? What are these guys doing? Why do you do this? And similarly, Prahlad Maharaj's friends are asking him the same question. Where did you learn this from? It's so different, right? And Prahlad Maharaj is saying it's the most natural thing to do, right? That's what he's trying to explain. And where did he learn it from? He said, he's telling them, I learned it in the womb. Wow. Your classes begin there. Who taught you? Who learns in the womb? Anything. And Prahlad Maharaj tells them, Narada, the great devotee of the Lord, he came by. Right? And Kayadu, his mother, when she was pregnant, Narada took her to the ashram and kept her because the devatas, the demigods would have otherwise killed the baby. But Narada, with his divine vision, could understand there's a Bhagavata Uttamaha, the topmost devotee is in the womb. Father may be Hiranyakashipu, father may be the topmost demon, but the topmost devotee is taking birth here. So Kayadu, when she's pregnant, Narada takes her to the ashram, and Prabhupada in that section says, only Narada can do that. No one else should try. Right? To take her to the ashram, and Narada spoke Bhagavad. So Kayadu, she did not remember because she was always in anxiety about her husband Hiranyakashipu. What will the devatas do with him? Will they kill him? Will they be successful? Right? In that anxiety, she heard Bhagavatam, nothing went in. In that fear, she heard, nothing went. But Prahlad, in the womb, heard everything with complete absorption. So this is what he's repeating here. And in this section, what is Prahlad? Thank you for the photograph. What is Prahlad telling his friends here? That bhakti is so simple. Right? So Prabhupada in the 29th verse, Prabhupada is saying that Prahlad is saying whatever Krishna has enunciated, whatever Krishna has given, that method should be followed. In the 6th chapter, after having, kind of informed Arjuna about all the paths, yoga paths, karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, bhakti yoga, Arjuna asked Krishna, out of all these yogas and out of all the yogis who practice this yoga, who is the topmost? In your opinion, Krishna? So, 6th chapter, last verse. Who can tell? Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, last verse. From there begins the bhakti section. 7th to 12th verse. 12th chapter. Yes, bro. You don't remember the full verse? Yeah.
Yogina.
Oh, your mobile phone remembers. Okay, yes, please.
Yoginam api sarvesha madgate nanter atmanam shraddhavan bhajate yomam samyukta tabo mataha.
Yoginam api sarvesham, amongst all the yogis, sarvesham yogis, mad gatena antara atmana, one who is constantly thinking of me, shraddhavan bhajate yomam, one who worships me with faith, samyukta tamo mataha, in my opinion, this yogi is the topmost, the bhakti yogi. Right? So, shraddhavan bhajate, and Prabhupada, in this purport, Prabhupada explains the word bhaja. Bhaja does not mean devotion, Prabhupada says it means devotional service. Prabhupada explains in this purport. And then begins the bhakti section. And this is what Prahlad is offering to his classmates. Which process to follow? Devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. But in this section, as Prahlad begins, we have come to text 38. Prahlad is saying that, my friends, why are you working so hard to go to hell? Bhakti is so simple. Chant Hare Prabhupada saying you can sit anywhere. Chant Hare Krishna, glorify Krishna. But people are really working hard to go to hell. One time we were, how many of you have been to Dhanush Kodi in India? You've been? From Rameshwaram, in those days when I had gone for the first time, we walked into the ocean, right? Two sides there is ocean and there's a beach in between. And you walk on the sand. And you're always fearful, this side ocean or this side, which water? And actually there's a point that comes where all three sides there's only water. And lifeguards will come at the right time and they'll tell you move out. Now whole land is going to get covered with water. Right? So when we were walking, so Dhanush Kodi is the point where Lord Ram with his arrow, he had broken the bridge that was made between India and Sri Lanka. Right? So that's the point. It was broken. So when we were walking, we saw that an entire village of fishermen, right, and fisher women, if we can call it like that, they all were there, and they had put their nets, fishing nets in the night, and now in the morning they were pulling it. Now imagine huge mass fishing nets. Entire village is needed because there is such a big catch they have now. They have caught so many fishes. Everybody is pulling, and they have their songs. They are singing their songs and, inspiring, giving enthusiasm. Pull it, let us do it before the fishes, run away. They are all pulling it. And, when we were with devotees there, one devotee commented, the entire village is working hard to go to hell. Isn't it? With the whole family, whole village, for what? They're killing so much. They're killing these fishes. This is a murder, right? And for this, hell is in store, right? So people are working hard, and that's what Prahlad Maharaj in this section will say. Demons work hard to go to hell. Devotional service is so simple. And sometimes in our daily parlance also, we make statements and use sentences, right? Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here, we say. Right? And Prahlad Maharaj, in the 9th chapter, when he takes darshan of the Lord, he will call himself, Ugra Jati. Same, Kim Toshtum Arhati Same Ugra Jate. Lord, Brahmaji could not please you. Brahmaji could not, the Devatas could not, the Rishis could not, your anger, Lakshmiji could not. What will I do? I'm Ugra Jati. I'm born in the family of demons. We'll see what is demoniac. Prabhupada, in the lecture to that verse, gives a very nice example. He says, back in British days, when Britishers were ruling over India, they made a bridge connecting Calcutta or Kolkata today's Kolkata to Howrah, and Ganga flows in between, Hooghly Nadi, right? Hooghly River. So that's Ganga. So they made a bridge, and Prabhupada says, so when the bridge was made, Prabhupada says, they coined a phrase. They say, ki pul banaya sahab company. Ki pul banaya sahab company. Upar se aadmi, niche se pani. Prabhupada says this in the lecture there. But Prabhupada says ugra work. Ugra, demoniac, Prabhupada says. Right? To the point, Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj had told Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, don't allow them to make a bridge from Navadvip Dham to Mayapur. Otherwise, demons from Calcutta will come and pass tool in Mayapur. Don't allow them, right? So, and Srila Prabhupada also, when he came on he reached the Boston harbor, he has written a beautiful bhajan, Markine Bhagavad Dharma. And in that bhajan he says, why have you brought me to this Ugra Sthana, right? Where people are working hard for what? What do they achieve in life? One time one reporter is asking Srila Prabhupada, your preaching is going all around the world. Is your preaching going on in the hell as well? And Prabhupada replied, when Prabhupada was in London, is London anything less than hell? Hellish, Prabhupada says. One time, Shyama Sundar Prabhu, Prabhupada's secretary in those days, decided that I'll take Prabhupada to Switzerland and Prabhupada will recoup his health. And when Prabhupada reached there, oh, it was so cold, so cold. It snowed. And Prabhupada said, Switzerland? Prabhupada says, it's white hell. So living conditions are hellish. They're working so hard to go where? All this hard work is for going to hell or what? Right? Like in Mumbai, they are now making, you have transit, they're making it underground, all metro trains. And somebody showed me the contract that these private operators signed with the government, these private operators who are constructing this metro. And in the contract it is written, if 30 laborers die a month, that means one a day, they will not be sued to the court. They will not be taken to the court. Part of construction is so many will die. Imagine, that's written in the contract. Right? And Mumbai is known for its local trains. You know how many people die every day? Just in an attempt to go to their office. What could be the average deaths? 7. That's an old number, old statistic. 8 to 9 people die every day, average, just to reach to their office. Imagine, right? And so the kind of civilization that we have created. Just now we were coming from Brampton, we were driving here, and I was telling Prabhuji, right? Like imagine if we are in a place where, everyone is trying to exploit us, abuse us. We feel so bad. Why are you doing this with me? When you see all this traffic, everybody rushing, for what? Exploiting Krishna. Right? Everyone is thinking, I am the enjoyer, I will exploit. And where will this exploitation take us? Where this, false enjoyership take us? Yes. The Shastras, during Lord Ram's time in Ramayana, there are questions. How will they be saved from going to hell? During Bhagavatam, when Parikshit Maharaj is listening in the 5th canto, he's worried. How will we save people from the souls from going to hell? In Prabhupada's time, they are discussing. Prabhupada is talking about save yourself from going to hell. Right? So, Prahlad Maharaj is saying everyone is rushing hard, right? Going fast towards hell. The kind of lifestyle, the kind of desires, the kind of mentality they have. So we'll discuss few causes for going to hell, what scriptures say. First and most important is, Prabhupada says, deliberate disobedience to laws of God. There is God, there is God's government. Prabhupada says there is God's laws. When you deliberately, when you're disobedient to God's laws, Prabhupada says independent behavior. I don't accept God. I don't accept God's laws. I will do what I like to do. This behavior, this mentality is sure shot, Prabhupada says. Road to hell. Krishna in the Gita says 3 gates to hell. Who can tell me the verse? 3 doors to hell.
Last time you agreed.
Thank you. Verse. Kama krodha tata lobhas tasmat etam trayam tyajet. But how does the verse begin? Anybody? Anybody can find out? Tasmat etat trayam tyajet. Krishna says, these 3, give it up. They are the doors leading to hell. 16.21. Yeah, recite. Trividham narkasyaidam dwaram nashanam atmanah. Yeah, go ahead. Recite, bro. Please recite.
Trividam narakasedam dwaram nashanam atmana kama krodha tata lobha tasmat etat tarayam pratyajet.
So Krishna is saying Trividham. There are 3 paths to hell. Trividham narakasedam. Naraka, hell. How to go to hell? 3 three ways. It's not just one way. There are three ways to go to hell. It's not a one-way road. Dwaram, Nashanam, what does it do? Nashanam Atmanaha. It destroys the soul. That means it destroys the propensity of the soul to serve Krishna. Dwaram, Nashanam Atmanaha. Which are the three? Kamaha. Kama is lust. Krodha, anger. And Tatha, lobhas. And lobha. That is greed. Tasmat etat trayam tajit. Give it up. Lust, anger, and greed. Another place Krishna says, we have scriptures. Sometimes as devotees, we study scriptures. We may preach scriptures, but we may secretly disbelieve them. अच्छा है, books tak ठीक है. Life should be, we should be practical in life, They're good. What Prabhupada says in the purport is nice, I appreciate, but become practical in life, right? Everything need not be applied. Or I will apply at the right, abhi time nahi. There's a lot of time with me, Abhi bahut life bacha hai, right? So what happens? Krishna says, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Akarya Vyavasthitau. This is 1624, 16.24. Can go to Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Akarya Vyavasthitau Jnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Arhasi. You want to save yourself from go to hell, Krishna says, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Keep Shastra as Pramanam. Keep Shastra as evidence in your life. Anything I do, are Shastras recommending it? Karya, akarya. What is to be done? What is not to be done? Jnatva, understand Shastra Vidhana. What are the instructions of scriptures? Karma kartum iha. In this world, live like this. The scriptures are given. Okay, 16.7 you can open. But what happens to the asuras? Krishna says, those who are demoniac, what will they do? Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha. They do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Pravrittim is activities to be done, nivrittim is to give up. Jana na vidur, jana, asura jana vidur, they do not understand this. What is to be done, what is not to be done. Na shaucham, neither cleanliness, na pi chacharo, neither good behavior, na satyam, neither truth exists in them. So, what should be done? Krishna is saying, you want to save yourself from going to hell. Scriptures are meant for it. Understand the codes, live by the codes. And these three gates to hell, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, you'll find they're actually glorified nowadays. How much lusty you are. Oh, that much you are popular. Angry young man. Right? Amitabh Bachchan, in India, he was glorified, angry young man. All movies look at the movies, look at the heroes, look at what James Bond is doing. All three practically, at least two, lust and anger, so much, and they are glorified. And in spiritual practice, what happens? So material activities, they can take one to hell. Can spiritual activities take one to hell? Can they? They can. They can. Right? Prabhupada says, the Gyanis, they want to, they understand, material world, dangerous place. Anything here, anything disobedient to God, it will take me to hell. Let me become obedient to God. And do what? To become God. Right? Now, such a person, Prabhupada would so often, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. So Prabhupada would condemn Mayavadis. Why? These Mayavadis, they are offensive to Krishna. Lord Chaitanya says, Mayavadi, Krishna Aparadhi. Where is the place for them? The place is for them is surely they'll go to hell. So they are spiritualists, but spiritualists, what are they trying to do? So there's one person, Ramachandra Biswas. He was living in Varanasi. And Sanatan Goswami, he came from Vrindavan to Varanasi, and from Varanasi he was going to go to Jagannath Puri. On the way he meets this person, Ramachandra Biswas. What was his speciality? This Ramachandra Biswas would only chant Rama, 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 Rama. That means if you ask him, would you like to take breakfast? Rama, Rama. I don't want. So he will not say, I don't want. Ram, 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 Ram. You like to come along with me? Ram, 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 Ram. So for everything, only word that comes out of his mouth is Ram, Ram, Ram. And Sanatana Goswami was so impressed. What a devotee. Only chanting names of Ram. But by the time both of them came to Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya received Sanatana Goswami very graciously with all Vaishnava etiquettes. But it completely overlooked Ramchandra Vishwas. And Sanatana Goswami could not understand. Lord Chaitanya follows all the etiquette so nicely. Why did he not even look at him? Next day, Sanatana Goswami, because he could not keep it inside of him, he goes to Lord Chaitanya and says, why did you do this? He's such a nice devotee. Only chants name of Ram. Lord Chaitanya told Sanatana Goswami, you go and ask him, why is he chanting the name of Ram? Sanatana Goswami felt, aisa bhi hota hai? Somebody is chanting the name of Ram. Why is he chanting? Sanatana Goswami went and asked this question, and this person said, I am chanting the names of Ram to become Ram. And Sanatana Goswami, what? Can somebody do that also? Yeah, chanting the name of Ram to become Ram. Right? One time my father does a lot of worship. I come from a very traditional family, a traditional religious family, that kind of background. And in his altar, he has so many demigods and Krishna and Lord Shiva and everything is there. And everyone, and I would also appreciate him all throughout. Wow, my father is like worshipping 3 hours in the day and 2 hours in the evening after coming from office, and such a religious family. I asked my father one time, what is the understanding of all this? You're worshipping everyone, right? And what did my father tell me? No, he said, everything is one. I said, then, but you have kept them separate. You call this Ganesha, you call this Lord Shiva. How is everything one? And Prabhupada, in one lecture, says, Indians, a little skin you take out, peel off, and you only see Mayavad. Everything is one for them. Right? I asked one lady one time, she was very angry at me. She came to meet me. Why? She felt that, in my program, their son and daughter-in-law, they started coming for the program and they started chanting Hare Krishna. So the mother came to meet me and said, you have done very, very wrong. I said, what did I do? Why did you teach them chanting Hare Krishna? We are worshippers of Durga. Traditionally, we worship Durga. And you have taught them, worship Krishna. So I asked her, okay, you worship Durga. I have one question for you. Is Durga alive? You are worshipping, right? Is Durga alive? And she was taken aback. Is Durga alive? Yeah, we are worshipping. Can she still be alive? Whatever we hear, stories we hear in Puranas millions of years ago, is Durga alive? And she said, I'm not. I said, I'll give you the news, she's alive. But I said, then I'll ask you second question. If she's alive, where does she stay? She must be having some address. So what crazy questions you ask? She was still, I said, these are not crazy questions. This you should have asked your parents also. You're asking to worship somebody. Jinda hai? Is she alive? But no, they don't know. They're just doing it for what? Somehow we want to enjoy. Whoever can help us. Like in India now, Ganpati season was there. Everywhere Ganesha, 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 Ganesha. Right? And that's a season that comes. And then Durga season will come. Right? And everyone is God for them. Ganesha is God. Deva ho Deva, Ganpati Deva, tumse badkar kaun. And their Ganpati is big now. Why? This Ganesha fulfills my desire. Right? In India, they call it Jagruta Devasthan. Why Jagruta? Why is alive? This temple, the deities are alive. Why? Because they fulfill my desire. Otherwise, they're dead. Right? So, spiritual hard work to go to hell is possible. Where you have a wrong conception about spiritual life. Rather than surrendering to Krishna, Prabhupada saying, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam. You take shelter of Krishna. Rather than doing that, one has dirty motive. I will take over Krishna. I'll enjoy Krishna. Like Bhasmasur. He worshipped Lord Shiva. He appeased Lord Shiva. And when Lord Shiva came, he said, what blessings do you seek? He said, whosoever's head I keep my hand upon, that person should die. Bhasmasur. Bhasma ho jaye. And what did Bhasmasur do? I want to keep my hand on Lord Shiva. Why? If Lord Shiva is dead, then I'll get Parvati. See? What is Ravana doing? He wants to take away Sita, right? The energy of Lord Ram. So one may take to spiritual practice, but one's destination may be hellish, right? So in the 6th canto, I have only few minutes remaining. In the 6th canto of Bhagavatam, the Yamadutas ask Yamaraj, please, it has never happened that we were ever, we kind of lost the game. This Ajamil, he's the first candidate whom we got defeated, right? Because some guys came, Vishnudutas, 4 people came from somewhere and they defeated us. Please tell us once and for all, who is the fit candidate for hell? It's a good question to, good answer to know, right? For all of us also, who goes to hell, right? So, Yamaraj says, I will tell you who is not the candidate. Isko mat lana, don't bring this guy. So first he says, Jivhana Bhakti Bhagavat Gunana Madhyayam 6.3.29. You can put that. Bhagavatam, SB 6.3.29. So Yamadutas are asking, whom should we bring? Yamaraj is saying, Jivhana Vyakti Bhagavat Gunana Madhyayam. Jivha, whosoever tongue, with their tongue, they are not glorifying Guna Nama Dhyayam. They are not glorifying Krishna. Vakti, they do not speak. They are not speaking out. They are not glorifying Krishna, chanting the name of Krishna, preaching Krishna's glories. If they don't do it, bring them. And by the time Yamadutas, this time, because they have associated with Vishnudutas, Yamadutas have become compassionate. Can you imagine Yamadutas becoming compassionate? So when Yamaraj says this line, bring them whose tongues are not being used for glorifying Krishna's name and pastimes. So Yamaduta says, wait sir, somebody may not be able to speak, may be dumb. Then usko aisi pakad ke lane ka bichare ko. There is no mistake of this person. This person could not chant because he is dumb, right? So Yamaraj says, okay, I will change the condition. The next line, Chetasna smarati tat charanar vindam. At least one can think, right? One cannot speak. But if one has not remembered the lotus feet of the Lord, smaranam, one has not done, right? So Yamaraj says, but for smaranam you require mind, right? Stable mind. But if somebody does not have a stable mind, then the third condition, Krishnayano namati yat shira ekadapi. You have a head, bow down your head at least. Even if somebody has not bowed down their head to Krishna, tananayadvam, bring them. So Prabhupada is saying in the purport here also, Prabhupada says, it is so simple to go back home, back to Godhead. Why are you working hard to go to hell? It's so simple. Just bow down your head every morning, every time you go in front of the deities. Sometimes chant with your tongue, right? Or remember Krishna, you can do it anywhere. Or just bow down your head to Krishna. You will not go to hell then. You will surely go back home, back to Godhead. And one may sometimes feel while we are practicing devotional service, I have so many disqualifications. Right? In this purport text 38, thrice Prabhupada has used the word what is the difficulty? What is the difficulty, Prabhupada is saying? It is so easy. What is your difficulty? So I may be unqualified to go back home, back to Godhead. I may feel like that. But Krishna is unlimitedly merciful. Right? One should have full hope in Krishna. So what are we supposed to do? I'll just finish with this. At this time, I could have actually explained this 3 terms, but we don't have time. 3 words are there. Bahirmukha, Unmukha, Sevonmukha. What does Bahirmukha means? We have turned our face away from Krishna. We have become Bahirmukha. What are we supposed to do? Become Unmukha. Turn your face favorably towards Krishna. Then Sevonmukha. Start serving Krishna. So Bahirmukha, Unmukha and Sevonmukha. So Prabhupada is giving initiations at one time. One time Prabhupada was giving initiation, and one devotee came forward and Prabhupada said, I'm giving you the name Bhakta Das. Right? But Prabhupada said, Bil Prabhu, I'm giving you this name Bhakta Das. Your name is Bhakta Das. And while handing the beads, Prabhupada said, this name means that you are servant of the devotees. The more you think of yourself as a servant, the more you will advance in spiritual life. The more you think you are becoming a master, the faster you will go to hell. So, devotional service, I have to become Sevonmukh. It means servant of Krishna. It means becoming servant of devotees. After coming to devotional service, if I once again feel I am the master, I am Prabhu. No, you are not Prabhu. Others are calling you Prabhu, but I should think of myself as servant, Das. But once again, if that mentality of being a master of all, I am great. What happens? Prabhupada saying, that will take one to hell. And back in India, we say, hi, hello, chodiye, Hare Krishna boli. In India, they say, if something inauspicious happened, hi, hi, everyone is saying hi, right? Hello, hell, hi, hello, chodiye, Hare Krishna boli, we say, right? So, Bhagavatam says, Kalau dosha nidhi rajan, Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, right? Asti hi eka mahan guna. But there is one great quality in this Kali Yuga. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya. Just by sincere chanting of holy name, what will happen? Mukta Sangaha will get liberated. Will not be anymore the candidates to hell, but will be candidates to go back home, back to God. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapurana ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Thank you. Any questions, any comments, any reflections you would like to share? Yes.
There is still a question, Prabhu. Ajamil was a very
Pious person.
An exceptional case, but when we chant, when we bow down, is it our tongue or throat that chants or the soul? Because sometimes the tongue chants, but the consciousness is somewhere else.
Yeah.
You are doing a lot of other things, the brain is somewhere else. Physically you are doing so many things, brain is somewhere else, but yes, the tongue is chanting the name. Sometimes you pay the regards, but deep inside you don't know whether you have respect for this person or not.
Yeah.
So what would you call the real...
Okay. There's one Prabhupada disciple, Radha Govind Swami Maharaj, and he gives a very beautiful explanation of it. He says, if you have employed a security guard, at the temple door you have a security, right? And that security is sitting whole day and whole night, sitting there, right, doing his job. And after a month he's asking you for the salary. And if you say, what did you do? You were just sitting around here. And your mind was also not here. Your mind was thinking of your wife and children and this and that, right? Can you deny the salary? Because that person was just sitting there. Mind may be anywhere, but he was doing the job, right? He was right there at the chair. You have to give the whole salary. Prabhupada says, you're chanting Hare Krishna, right? What does Krishna see? At least you are making an attempt. You made the attempt to chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada says the mind will also come if it has to come or not. You'll still get the benefit of chanting Hare Krishna. Another place Prabhupada says, Radha Govind Maharaj says, if there's a live wire and if you touch it, what will happen? I'll get a shock. Prabhupada says, that's how chanting Hare Krishna is. It's a live wire of mercy, Krishna's mercy. You begin chanting, rest Krishna will take care. Right? In Varaha Puran, Lakshmi ji is asking Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, oh Lord, you have kept a very difficult condition in the scriptures that your devotee has to remember you at the point of death. Such a difficult condition. Material world is such a dangerous place, and in that at the point of death to remember you, not easy. And Lakshmi ji puts a condition. She says, in case there is an accident, a devotee has sincerely practiced, but at the point of death, a devotee meets with an accident and dies and is not able to remember you. Then what will happen to your devotee? Amazing question. If it's an accidental death and I have tried my best, but I die in certain conditions, you know what Lord Vishnu answers? He says, for my devotee who has made an attempt to sincerely serve me, and at the point of death, if my devotee is not able to remember me, then I will remember my devotee. I will fill up the gap for my devotee. And Lord Vishnu says, if I will not be able to remember my devotee at that time, then I will consider myself the most ungrateful person in the creation. That's the Lord. Because here, when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, it's the two personalities here, Krishna and I. And even Guru is also involved to bargain from my side, right? To take my case ahead, right? So there is so much guarantee here. Yes, we may not be qualified, but yes, Krishna is unlimitedly merciful to his devotees.
Another question. We were discussing about demons as well. Did demons come before Brahma, or Brahma came before demons? Or demons came, first from Vishnu, Brahma was born.
Okay.
And then the entire population came from Brahma. So were demons, or demons had already been there before Brahma was born?
No, all creation begins from Brahma, right?
Okay. So Brahma was a great devotee. So can devotee be giving a birth to demon too?
Why Kashyapa is a great
The
devotee?
same thing was there as
Yeah,
well.
possible. Krishna,
So what makes
Hiranyakashipu can give birth to Prahlad also.
But Prahlad, even after he was he became a devotee, still he is considered from the same demonic family, a demon.
Yeah,
And Shukracharya was a Brahman,
yeah,
and all his karmas,
Yeah.
consciousness was demonic.
yeah. One could be very intelligent, but one could be producing nuclear bombs.
But still he is called Brahman.
Yeah, because Brahmanical qualities are there. One may be serving like Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. They go to Lord Chaitanya and they say, we are the most fallen. We are more fallen than Jagai and Madhai. Why? They say, Jagai and Madhai did lot of sinful activities, varieties of sinful activities, but they did not do one thing. They did not serve the Mlechas. We did that also. We served the Muslim king who was to serving such a person who is breaking all the principles is all the more sinful. So Shukracharya, apparently, so while living in this world, sometimes compromises have to be made. Right? So that's called apad dharma. Like Dronacharya is a Brahmana, but then he comes down from his level to train, the Kshatriya art to the children. And then with Ashwathama and so many compromises. That's material world. So one may want to remain pure, but sometimes we get dragged on the sides. Okay? Yes, bro.
Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture. I have two questions, following up with Prabhu's question. So first he said Brahma, we heard Kashyamuni also, he gave Bhagat to...
Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu.
Yeah. So, but we also say love matra shalu shanga sarva siddhi ho. So why didn't his positivity affected them?
Because they were supposed to come to this world with some plan of Krishna. Some plan had to be executed. So they did their part. Right? So that we all will hear the Leela and we all will understand what is not to be done. Especially what comes in Bhagavatam, we should clearly see it as Krishna's plan for us. Like, do we expect Arjuna to undergo illusion in presence of Krishna? If Krishna is Surya Sama, if Krishna is like sun, and Maya is like darkness, Krishna is standing there. How come Arjuna went into illusion? Because Krishna wanted him to. Krishna desired that Arjuna goes through illusion so that Bhagavad Gita can be spoken. So when we study scriptures, we should know which rule to apply where. So when you are saying Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, that's not to be applied there. Now Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha have to take birth, they have to do all the atrocious activities, so that we will learn, oh, this is not to be done. And ultimately Krishna's pastime also is there. Lord has to appear as different avatars, right, to deliver us. Right? Like Prabhupada says, in Christianity they have only one pastime, Jesus getting crucified. That's all. That's the only pastime they can share. Jesus getting crucified. Prabhupada says, the Lord is eager to come to this world and do so many pastimes. So this Leela Katha, we can talk about Krishna and this incarnation of Krishna, that beautiful pastimes. Okay?
Yeah. One last, Prabhu, as you mentioned, from Varaha Purana, Krishna says, Aham smarami mad bhakta. But if we see in case of Farad,
Mhm.
it didn't apply.
Again, the Leela. For us to learn. For us to learn. Right? So I was sharing with them yesterday, Bhaksan Thakur in one article, one discussion, he says, Narada took 3 lives. Bharat Maharaj took 3 lives. Chitraketu took 3 lives. What are you in hurry of? You'll also have to pay the price of sincerity. Right? So all these pastimes in Bhagavatam, they're for us to understand. Oh, even Narada, mistakes can happen. Huh? Right? Yeah. Yes.
So, you mentioned the Prabhu's question. The consciousness of security God is something different. He might be thinking about family and other things, but he is still getting paid because of his job sitting there.
I may be thinking of family, but I touched the live wire. Current will. I'll get the shock.
Okay. But if you see the statement that we mentioned here, be a servant of servant, but if you want to try to be master, you will go to hell. That means at least he is prizing Krishna for his own benefit.
Okay.
So the consciousness also there is something different, but anyway he is chanting Krishna's name.
Yeah.
He is talking in front of us.
Wonderful. See, I may have anartha and I may be practicing Krishna consciousness, but I don't throw those anarthas on others. I don't employ my anarthas in Krishna consciousness. I may be I may be COVID infected, but I use mask. I go to quarantine. I quarantine myself. I'm not eager to spread COVID to others. So simply I may have anarthas while practicing devotional service, and I may regret for it that I have so many misgivings in my heart. But I ensure that those misgivings do not affect others' devotional service. At least I remain under guidance and I make a sincere attempt to practice Krishna consciousness. And while I'm making that sincere attempt, I know only that quality of humility will come to my rescue. I know what is the limit. Everyone should know what is my Lakshman Rekha. If I cross it, then Ravana, the anartha will catch. Right? So everyone should, like when I'm staying with devotees, when I'm serving with devotees, when I'm under the guidance of Guru, I should know. If there I am not careful about my anarthas, kind of overcoming me, then the reaction has to come. Okay. Yeah. Shall we stop? Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.